tourism is really the welcome mat to business. So if you come up for a conference or if you come up for a bike race or something, you're going to fall in love with the destination because you're making wonderful memories there.
Welcome again, everybody, to the Destination Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Stoker. We've got a special guest for you today, and we're excited to have him on. I've known him for several years, and he is the director of the tourism office for Heber Valley here in Utah. And Ryan, it's good to have you on board.
Thanks for inviting me. Glad to be here.
Yeah. I'm excited to chat with you today. You come from a unique destination, and we'll dive into that a little bit. I actually had the opportunity to play in your golf tournament yesterday, which was fantastic.
And how'd you do, by the way?
We did really good. We walked into that thinking we could be in contention, but we forgot the biggest rule of a scramble. A golf tournament with the scramble format is that the biggest liar always wins.
Next year. There's always next year.
So we've just got we got to get a little bit more fudgy on our scorecard next year, I think, and maybe we can pull it off.
Smart man.
No, we had a great time, played really well. For anybody that hasn't been to Heber Valley, some of the best golf that you'll find. I mean, it's mountain golf. There's how many courses up there, Ryan?
5 courses, 90 holes, and they're all within a 5-minute drive.
And they're all amazing. I've played them all. I think I haven't played the gold course at Soldier Hollow, just the one we played yesterday, the silver. But I think that's the only one I have yet to check off the list.
Well, we'll have to have you up there and make sure that we can check that box for you.
Great. Well, before we dive into the unique things about your destination and some of the topics that I want to talk about today, we have a couple of questions we just ask everybody to kind of break the ice and get you chatting. So tell me first, what is your dream destination? If you go anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm pretty well traveled. I've been to a handful of countries in my lifetime. About 5 years ago, my wife and I went to Hawaii, and we really loved it. It wasn't our first time, but we just were able to leave the kids with Grandma and Grandpa, and Hawaii was a great place. But we came home, and a week later, we went to Moab for 3.5 days. And it was the first time that we'd ever been to Moab. Now, shame on me, right, for being from Utah and taking so long to get there. But those 3.5 days that we spent in Moab were life-changing. We got up early in the morning. We went to every hike possible. We covered every square inch.
Who's we? Who did you go with?
Just my wife and me.
Oh, great.
We left the kids also with Grandma. And it was such a fabulous trip for us. And then we look at that and compare it to Hawaii. And while Hawaii is, everybody's kind of dream destination, Moab really just hit the mark for us. So we loved it. It's close. There's so much to do. So, hey, I'm a Utah guy. If I can stay in Utah and go on vacation, then I'm going to do it.
Great. Big plug for Moab here. That's great. Appreciate that. What about somewhere you haven't been? Somewhere you've always kind of dreamed of but haven't been?
Oh, that's such a good question. My wife and I would really love to go to Europe.
Okay.
I think Ireland would be awesome. Some of the islands there in that area. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good. We are getting ready to go to Ecuador. And
why Ecuador?
Ecuador, I served a church mission in Ecuador 16 years ago. And it's been 16 years since I've been there. And so this October, she and I are going with a couple of friends and going to spend about 10 days there.
Okay, so what tourist activities are you going to do while you're there?
Oh, it's funny because my wife's in complete tourist mode.
Okay.
I just want to go see the people, my friends from Ecuador, but she has some pretty cool things. There's something called a cloud jungle and a cloud forest, and so it's high up at the top of the mountains, and they have a butterfly forest with endless waterfalls and ponds, and there's a frog orchestra, they call it, because of all the animals and wildlife. So
no way.
A place called Mindo, just outside of the capital of Quito. So
wow. Okay, that sounds fun. I'll have to get a report back from you.
We'll let you know how it goes and how
it
stacks up against Moab.
Great. Yeah. That's the benchmark now, right?
That's right.
Okay. Good. Awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about. And we talked about it a little bit before we jumped on. I'll have you maybe restate a little bit, but how did you end up in tourism, and how did you end up as the director of tourism at Heber Valley?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but my sophomore year as a college student at Weber State University, I decided to run for student body president.
Okay.
And had the opportunity to serve for a year in that capacity. And while serving, I got to serve on the university board of trustees. And it really opened my eyes to public service, and it really helped me understand that desire and that passion to serve. And so I started looking for public sector jobs and ended up working for the Governor's Office of Economic Development with John Huntsman as the governor. And in that capacity, I worked a lot on various business development projects, but also tourism-related projects.
Yep.
Got to know some of the great staff at the Utah Office of Tourism. So I was there for about 3 years, and then I left to go complete a master's degree at BYU. Go Cougs.
All right.
And for all
Good thing Jordan's not here today, by the way.
That's right. But if he's listening,
if he's listening, I want to hear the end of this.
Go Cougs. That's all I can say, Jordan. And so, yeah, during grad school, we had to complete numerous projects. And for one of my classes, I did some projects focused on tourism in the film industry in Utah. And then shortly, close to graduation, I got a job offer at the Governor's Office of Planning and Budget. And they put me as the budget analyst over the state's tourism office, among other agencies.
Okay.
I also oversaw USTAR, the Governor's Office of Economic Development, the Utah Tax Commission. But at the end of the day, I got to work closely with the Utah Office of Tourism and understand their budgets, understand their mission. And it was just fascinating, this whole concept of economic development and tourism. So one day a friend emailed me and said, hey, Heber Valley is hiring a director of tourism and economic development. You should really think about applying. You'd be a good fit. And at the time, I had certain career goals and a certain career path, but I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, wow, Heber Valley. Interesting. And that was before it really exploded, before it really got on the map. So my wife and I at first kind of laughed about it, but call it one of those feelings. So I looked into it and thought, well, what the heck? What if I just apply and see what happens? So shortly after applying, I had an interview, and 3 days later, I had a second interview. And then after the second interview, 2 hours later, I had a job offer.
No way.
So my life just got tipped upside down, and we thought, oh, man, we didn't really expect that to happen. But felt good about it. Decided to move to the Heber Valley. And so for the past 8 years now, I've been working as the director of tourism and economic development, and they go hand in hand. We're such a tourism-heavy economy that many of the people that come spend money. It helps create jobs, and it's just a really good thing.
So you really took the long way into tourism, then, didn't
We
you?
really did.
That's good. That's good. It's I bet that gives you a unique perspective as you're approaching some of the projects that you're working on, because you've seen the state level budget side, you've seen especially like the appropriation of tax dollars and stuff like that. So tell me how that provides you any unique advantage or ability in doing your job to lead the tourism efforts in Heber Valley.
Yeah, a lot of people think of tourism as just glorified vacations, and that as the tourism director, I get to spend a lot of time on a hammock, or that I'm always on.
Is that not what you do?
Well, sometimes. But really, tourism is a business. And as the tourism director, my responsibility is to represent the businesses in Wasatch County. So we have some fantastic outfitters, hoteliers, restaurateurs. And so we have to look at it from a business perspective. And I think having come from the state of Utah and understanding the budget process and the cycles really goes a long way in, I think, helping me know what's available in terms of resources and grants. And pleased to announce that we just got a $150,000 grant from the Utah Office of Tourism Board.
That's great.
That was announced last Friday. So understanding how all the moving parts come together, I think, is really important.
That's great. And your unique perspective coming from the economic development side and the tax side, I'd love to understand where you feel like most destinations miss. Tell me a little bit about how economic development and tourism can work hand in hand.
Yeah, well, I think at the county and the city level, there's so many opportunities to connect the dots between tourism and economic development. They really should work hand in hand because tourism is a great form of economic development. In our economic development strategic plan, we've identified various industries to focus on, light manufacturing, technology, healthcare, but one of those industries is tourism. And tourism is really the welcome mat to business. So if you come up for a conference or if you come up for a bike race or something, you're going to fall in love with the destination because you're making wonderful memories there. And we've seen that firsthand. Many of our businesses want the quality of life associated with recreation and tourism. And just this past week, we actually released with EDC Utah, the Economic Development Corporation of Utah, we released a press release announcing that an out-of-state company focused on manufacturing specialized road bikes has actually decided to relocate to Heber City.
Oh, wow.
And so they had a headquarters in Miami Beach, and they had a manufacturing plant in Boulder, Colorado, and decided to consolidate. They love the area. They love the tourism or the recreational scene that we offer, and also the proximity to Salt Lake and Provo. So it's called Ventum Bikes. They're creating 32 jobs and investing $1 million into the community. And already they're working with our local sign companies and our different businesses to get up and going. So tourism and economic development go hand in hand.
That's fantastic. You, at your office too, you're combined with the Chamber of Commerce. Is that correct?
We are.
Tell me a little bit about that unique dynamic.
Well, it is a unique dynamic, that's for sure. So the nature of my office, we're an interlocal government entity.
Okay.
And so I have participation from Midway City, from Heber City, and then from Wasatch County. They all come together and they form a board, and that's who I report to. When I started the job, separate from our office was an independent Chamber of Commerce. But because of some tough economic conditions, they had lost their budget, and they didn't have a staff, so it was being manned by a volunteer board. And so after a couple of years of working with them and trying to help them, we all came together, our board and the chamber board, and said, maybe it really makes sense for us to push the reset button and to merge the Chamber of Commerce into our office. And again, at the time, they had zero budget, 0 members. Everybody was a member, in fact.
Yeah.
But we felt like for the structure to be strong and healthy, we really needed to revamp the way that we approach the chamber.
Now, that's a big undertaking, though, right? I mean, you've already got a lot of responsibilities as the Director of Tourism and Economic Development. What kind of, challenges come along with adding the Chamber of Commerce in, but also is there a benefit to that?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So the first year was a real challenge. Many people thought we were the Chamber of Commerce in the first place, so we had to let them know that we weren't, but now that suddenly we are again. And taking this private entity representing private businesses and merging it into a government entity was really eye-opening. There were some skeptics, people who thought, we don't know that this is going to work, but we went to work and created a business plan for the chamber. How can we grow the numbers of members? What should we charge members? What benefits should they go? One of the key benefits, I think, was combining their website with our tourism website, because by having those together, now all that visibility, anybody coming to the site, whether it be a local business or a visitor, now they're looking at all these great things that we have. So in the past 5 years since we officially took over the chamber, we've grown it from 0 members to about 300 members. We have monthly lunches. We have some really good networking opportunities, an economic summit in partnership with Park City. We have an annual golf tournament. And so I think all cylinders are clicking at this point. People have bought into the vision. So certainly some challenges, representing everybody, including the tourism partners, making sure that they still feel the love, that we're not forgetting about them when we have to go meet with a small business owner, I think has been a challenge. But a really great opportunity as well.
I think as a small destination, it's a really interesting thing to consider, merging the Chamber of Commerce with the tourism office. Not for everybody, right? Not going to work for everybody, but it gives you the unique ability to help local business owners understand the importance of tourism to the local economy. And when you have, we actually talked with Fallon Owens a while back from Bryce Canyon Country, and she talked about how customer service was a real issue. People would say, well, what is there to do here? Well, people that were raised there locally would say, there's nothing to do here, when in fact, there's so much to do, right? And so I think that you having that platform with the local business owners gives you a unique advantage to make sure that everybody understands how to help tourists get around the county, get around the valley, and understand the best experience for them. I don't think that would happen otherwise, or at least not as easily.
Yeah, and what I learned too is having worked with a different chamber before that wasn't part of our office, sometimes there's a little bit of competition. Like, well, this is what the chamber's doing, but this is what the tourism bureau's doing. So having kind of one platform, it really enables us to accomplish more, to get everybody on the same page. And there are certain projects that don't just apply to visitors or don't just apply to small businesses, but are really all about community development. We all rise if we can do certain things. So.
That's great. That's great. Another thing that I think is interesting that you've done, specifically by combining the Chamber of Commerce with the tourism office, is you're able to use your annual golf tournament to pay for wayfinding signs. Mm-hmm. And that's a real unique marriage of, local businesses and the tourism office. Tell me how that came about and how it's been.
Yeah, so Roger Brooks, he's a branding expert that's consulted with many cities here in Utah. He secret shopped the Heber Valley about 3 years ago. And he spent a week identifying what are our strengths and our weaknesses. And he acted like he was just a visitor. He didn't tell people who he was. And so he went from business to business and from one park to the next attraction. And after a week of spending time in the Heber Valley with his wife, we called a meeting with all of our key stakeholders, had about 100 people. And he spent 3 hours just detailing what's going well, where we could improve. And one of the big areas was wayfinding. A lot of people think we're just an extension of Park City. They get to Heber, they get to Midway, and they're like, wait, so this is Park City, right? And we're like, well, Park City's our awesome neighbor, but we're the Heber Valley. And they're like, well, what's there to do? And how do I get there? So we put together a committee made up of local leadership with mayors and city and county officials. And we said we really think that we have an opportunity to create a branded wayfinding sign program. Something that could benefit visitors and benefit residents alike. Some of our residents don't even know some of the amenities we have. So we put together a plan. We hired an architect, somebody with great experience in the field, who's worked with Roger Brooks, and put together a plan and said, we feel like a sign should go here, 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 and here. And then we looked at our brand and looked at our identity and said, how can we tie that in? How can we make it look like a really attractive sign? And so going through that process was awesome. Put together the plan, got buy-off from our stakeholders. And then there was the big question, how do we fund it?
Yeah.
So we were able to get some transit room tax money from Wasatch County, and we appreciate their support, but we still had some money, a gap that we had to fill. And so each year for the golf tournament, we had just come together as kind of a community building networking day, but we said, well, why not turn this into a real fundraiser? And so we have an awesome committee. They were able to get some great prizes, kayaks, awesome vacations, Traeger grills, you name it. So for the past couple of years, we've put our eggs in the basket of raising money for wayfinding signs. So this year we completed phase 1, which included all of Heber City, a total of about 25 different signs. They're blue, they're bold, they're beautiful. Everybody that sees them knows where to go, knows where they are. They're in the Heber Valley. So for phase 2 now, we're working with Midway City to extend those signs and make sure that Midway City still maintains its identity as a Swiss village, but that those signs tie into the family of signs in Heber. So we had our golf tournament yesterday, and people are excited to support this community cause. We expect to raise about $12,000. So.
I love that. I think that's great. And for destinations, especially small destinations that may have a difficult time generating new funding, or, all their money is already promised or something like that, I think an event like this, I don't think it has to be a golf tournament, right? But some sort of fundraising event where the local stakeholders get involved and everybody kind of comes together to help this initiative. You can do things like wayfinding signs. You just have to be a little more creative than just, oh man, here's the lodging tax that's available to me. It's already committed, so maybe in 3 years we can do wayfinding signs. I love how you guys said, no, let's brainstorm a way to start that process now.
Yeah, and we all often hear the term public-private partnerships, and sometimes that's overused, but this is a real good example of the public ponying up some money and the private sector also rising to the occasion. So
Totally. You mentioned something in your answer as well that causes me to want to switch gears a little bit, if that's all right.
Sure.
You talked about how you've got Park City to the north of you. You didn't mention this, but you have Utah Valley to the west of you, right? And then you've got Salt Lake, who's just between Park City and Utah Valley.
that's right.
These guys all have more hotels. They all have larger budgets. The ski resorts, for the most part, are in different counties. And yet your offering is very unique. A lot of people, if they really understood what Heber Valley and Midway specifically is, when they come to go skiing, they would stay there and drive up and ski up there, because it's just not the crazy hustle and bustle that you get up in Park City. But what challenges come along with being kind of sandwiched between some major destinations with major budgets, and how do you make yourself unique?
Yeah. Well, we like to look at it as a great opportunity. I mean, Utah Valley and Park City are two of the best destinations in Utah. So being associated with them, being part of their team, I think is really important for us. So first and foremost, we have a great relationship with the Park City Chamber Bureau and with Visit Utah Valley. I guess they've rebranded to Explore Utah Valley now.
That's right.
And so we don't look at them as a threat so much, but as an opportunity to further the Heber Valley. So, for example, Provo Canyon, we have the Heber Valley Railroad that starts in Heber City that goes almost to the bottom of Provo Canyon, even into Utah County. Well, we're happy with that because now they feel like they have some ownership of the Heber Valley Railroad. They promote it, we promote it. It's kind of a win-win. If they have a large conference, people are in love with the mountains. So they send people up the mountains and we take care of them. As it relates to Park City, now this is a really interesting dynamic. Deer Valley is the ski resort that kind of straddles the county line. So part of Deer Valley is in Summit County, part of Deer Valley is in Wasatch or Heber Valley. And so we've been able to capitalize on that proximity to Deer Valley. And part of our message has been, hey, if you're coming to Utah, stay in Heber Valley, enjoy the nightlife that Park City offers, enjoy some of the features that Utah Valley offers, but really maximize your experience by staying in the Heber Valley. So we try not to work in a silo. We try to focus more on the regional tourism. Obviously, we want the heads and beds, and that's our message, but we're more likely to get quality visitors who value affordable prices and value family-friendly experiences. So we see it as a great opportunity.
I'm glad you said that because in tourism, you know, it's funny, the two different sides of it. You've got the destination, right? Mm-hmm. But then you've got the visitor. And a lot of times the destination will look at it just through their lens. Well, the visitor doesn't care where the county line is.
That's right.
The visitor doesn't care where the city line is. Mm-hmm. And so if you are laser focused on a great customer experience, I think you solve a lot of the problems that come along with, okay, well, where are they going to stay the night, right? If they're going to Park City or going to Utah Valley. And so, anyway, I love that you're working together with those other destinations because the most important thing is the customer. And to try to divide up their experience by county, it just doesn't matter to them, right?
It really doesn't. And you look at the Jordanelle State Park, for example, Park City claims that as their own. That is definitely Wasatch County, but the more people they drive there, the more we benefit. And it's amazing to see how many people will come to Park City and say, hey, we love it, we've been here for many years, but now we're down in Heber Valley, we keep hearing about this place. What's there to do? Could we stay here next time? And so as we educate those visitors in our visitor center, we often hear, wow, we had no idea there was so much to do, and we're staying here next year. So it's a real opportunity to capture a new market.
That's great. Awesome. Now, you guys have some big things coming down the road. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the growth that you're experiencing right now?
Yeah, so first, just want to focus on the transit room tax, and that's kind of our that's our indicator, if you will, on how well we're doing as a tourism destination. So statewide growth historically has been, anywhere from 1 to 10% on a good year, and we've experienced that as well. But 2018 finished 28% higher than 2017.
Wow.
So something's working, and we're grateful for so much support that we've received. Now, projecting into the future, the population of Wasatch County continues to grow, as well as its reputation. So as you've maybe seen in the news this week, there's a big announcement, press conference held by Extel Development.
Yeah.
It's a gentleman named Gary Barnett out of New York. He's worked closely with Wasatch County, worked closely with Deer Valley, and they announced large plans to create this village resort right at the base of Deer Valley near Jordanelle, and that's all in Wasatch County.
Great.
At full build-out, it'll have 3+ large resorts with additional ski lifts, with a lot of commercial and retail space, with other features like additional trails and fun things to do. In fact, they're creating 2 underpasses under Highway 40.
Oh, really?
To link the Deer Valley side with the Jordanelle side. And so with that, there's going to be several thousand housing units as well. Many of them will be condos or hotel rooms, but it's going to be a true resort center, and I think it's going to be a game changer for Wasatch County.
That is amazing. So that's a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tons more rooms, tons more attraction, tons more intrigue, right? For Heber Valley. Good.
Yeah, and I like to think of it like this. If you're a skier and you're in New York and you fly into the Salt Lake International Airport to ski, rather than having to go through some pretty rough conditions and traffic and stuff, you can now get from the Salt Lake International Airport up to the backside of Deer Valley with exactly 0 stoplights in between in 35 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, beat that, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really good. Nice.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the impact that having a major resort and major, ski area coming to your county. You're not equipped day one to handle all of that, right? So tell me about some of the things that you're going to have to do to prepare for that to come in.
Yeah, we definitely have to get ahead of it. We're hiring a new sales manager who's going to drum up a lot of business, corporate business, meetings business, somebody that's going to be a representative for our office, attending various trade shows. And then it's a question, too, of coordinating with our partners, with Deer Valley and with some of these hoteliers, with the state parks, putting together a plan to maximize the opportunity for that area. We don't want it to fall flat. We don't want buildings to go vertical and then have vacant rooms.
Right.
So we're having those discussions now, even with Park City, trying to identify what's our best strategy to make sure that this is a real viable area. So part of it includes, increased budgets, additional marketing, additional staffing, but we're really excited about the opportunity.
Yeah, sounds great. Tell me, we've talked about a lot of different things. We've gone through a few different topics. What have I not asked you that maybe you feel like could benefit our listeners from learning from your experience?
Just that not all counties and cities are created equal, and we can't all have a national park in our backyard or be a world-class ski destination. But understanding what makes your community unique, I think, is super important in the tourism realm. For Heber Valley, we like to say we're minutes apart but a world away. We're close to Salt Lake, we're close to Utah Valley, but yet you don't feel like you're in Utah Valley or Salt Lake when you're there. Instead, you have 3 state parks, rivers, reservoirs, endless biking trails.
Golf courses.
And then the historic Heber Valley Railroad, which is the only tourism railroad still operating in the state of Utah today. So find your niche, put together the right team, and have a lot of fun, because I think destination marketing is an awesome career. It's an awesome cause, and it really has strong economic benefits. So.
And the railroad is great. I'm actually going to be riding it with my family next weekend, not this
Wonderful.
coming weekend, but the following. So Anyway, love it up there. We've ridden it a few times. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Ryan, for coming on. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate your insights. And it's been a great episode.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's been great.
Awesome. Well, everyone, just a reminder, this has been the Destination Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Stoker. We've had Ryan Starks with us today from the Heber Valley Office of Tourism and Economic Development. And want to remind everybody to go to the LinkedIn group, Destination Marketers, and request access there. We post episodes. We have people sharing insights, questions, suggestions. Got a great community going there. And also on the Facebook page or Facebook group, which is a little bit behind the LinkedIn group, but we're growing that as well. Also search Destination Marketers on Facebook, and you'll find that group as well. Looking forward to growing and continuing to learn from all of you in those groups. And just a reminder, leave us a review. We're looking to grow our review base. If our listenership continues to grow, so if you feel like you've learned something here on the podcast, we'd love to get a 5-star review from you. So anyway, thanks everybody for your time, and we'll see you next week.